welcome to the very first episode of the Family Bathroom Podcast. It's been a really long time coming. My name's Matt Boyce. Sitting beside me is my main man, Brett Holly, a.k.a. Brett Toast, the Fresh Maker, a.k.a. Toast. And then beside him, last but not least, we have Big Mark Harris, and all the ladies know why his nickname is Big, if you catch my drift.
Dang it, man.
And this very, let's not be embarrassed about it. I mean, we're just speaking the truth. And this very special first episode of the Family Bathroom Podcast is brought to you by Boyce Co. That's actually my wholesale business, so I'm going to do a shameless plug. And if you guys want to check out Boyce Co., you just go to Facebook, type in BOYCECO, that's Boyce Co. You can find brand new products at used prices. And with that, I want to send it over to my boy Brett and kind of get us kick-started on what we're going to talk about on this one.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, podcastees, pimps of many nations, and welcome to the first Family Bathroom Podcast that we've actually made. This has actually been,
many years coming.
Yeah, many years, exactly. This has been like a kind of a passion project that we've kind of been behind the scenes kind of trying to put together. When we figured the best way we could do it was in a podcast format and video too, so there's that. But yeah, we're kind of a comedy group that we kind of, I'd say, 2007?
Probably earlier than that.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'm like...
We've been kind of like on the vein of like doing comedy for a while.
Yeah.
Just putting it in a podcast format and then also trying to, take skits and go other ways. This is kind of a revamp of, I feel like, the Family Bathroom brand.
Yeah.
We kind of had initial start off.
We're leaving everybody out here. We catch them up on the backstory here. How this all got started, guys, we decided one day we were going to make a Chappelle Show style sketch comedy show. So we put our brains together, and these two guys really took the reins, and we wrote an entire pilot episode for the Family Bathroom sketch comedy show. And we took it to a channel called Tough TV, which is actually still in existence today, Tough TV.
That's surprising.
And we got a pilot treatment done on the show, but money was an issue. And obviously when you're young, you don't really know how to go about raising, $15,000 or whatever it would have cost to help shoot the pilot. So we put it on the back burner, and now we're finally going to try to make good on it. And, we still don't have $15,000, so the best way to do that was to come to you via podcast, which...
so if anybody wants to give us, $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 to film our pilot, that'd be
great.
too.
Yeah, if you want to jumpstart us.
Definitely just send that money to Cash App BS. No.
any rich sugar mamas out there,
yeah.
You can find out why we call Big Mark, and maybe kick a little, $15,000, $20,000 our way and get things rolling.
A little shameless promotion would help. We'll just show up to their houses and be like, got any dishes need to be done?
I'm not above it.
Yeah, I mean, Well, anyway, yeah, guys, this is pretty much an introduction podcast, kind of getting everything out of the way, history. As we go along, you'll kind of figure out our backstory more and more, because we're too much of we're too big of idiots to really just kind of tell you everything all up front. So you're gonna hear different things as we go on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's what they did. Yeah.
A lot of random inside jokes that have been known only by us for years.
Yeah.
A lot of crazy shit.
I'm pretty sure that no one's gonna get any reference, so we have to have a dictionary side companion for this.
We might have to write a Family Bathroom dictionary book.
I think that's a great idea.
Like a bro code, but for the Family Bathroom bros and hoes.
The Dungeon Master book for Family Bathroom. If you roll 12, you get,
Rule 12?
If you roll 12, you get touched by an angel. What does that even mean?
That's actually funny that you say touched by an angel.
Do not pass go. You must go down to Dallas.
Go directly to Dallas.
That's the destination we're all trying to get to.
That's heaven. You gotta take that red eye to Dallas.
You guys will find that touched by an angel is actually one of Mark's favorite shows. He's watched it for years, and we kind of give him grief about it. But there is something to be said for Touched by an Angel, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, and Mark. Kind of a super fan, I guess. But everybody has their own thing.
Yeah, because you got what was there? It was Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. There was Touched by an Angel, like Seventh Heaven, and then there was like some weird show called Northern Exposure, and you're like, oh, look at it's a moose walking around. You see what happens in this town. It's relationships.
We can't forget the great '90s hit Growing Pains.
Oh, that's not from the '90s. That's from the '80s.
It was a little mix. I think it was
it was not
early '90s.
That was the last of it. That's when they had the little sister and Leonardo DiCaprio was like, I'm gonna go stay with my dad. He's a trucker.
What was the show Leonardo DiCaprio was on?
Growing Pains.
Was it Growing Pains?
Yes, dude. It was
Growing Pains. I'm mixing up shows. Shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
as long as we got each other. That was Growing Pains. Yeah.
Well, he was an orphan on the show. So they're like, in Kirk Cameron's
oh, that was Step by Step. I'm thinking of
Step by Step.
Patrick Duffy.
Mixing up shows.
Yeah, man. Well, anyway, guys, if this is our Halloween episode, I got the Jason Diggs on right here. I'm the only one dressed up for it, because these guys.
I was being a little anti.
Being a little South Face right now. Man.
Well, you know what it is? I'm actually a little.
Why does North Face always have their logo on the back? You ever notice their jackets will be like, it's North
What, Brett? The logo's on the front.
I got a little bit of a little small logo action on my boob over here.
Your NBC Good Morning America little jacket you got on there.
You know what I was actually.
We're gonna send it to you, Matt, for the weather.
Well, I see Brett's shirt, and he says, "Hey, I'm the only guy who dressed up," and I got a little insight on why I'm so against the Jason Voorhees.
Well, we'll get to that in just
or
a
the
minute.
Mike Myers.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
a little
have that.
tease,
We'll get that a little bit later here in the episode. But what we needed to bring up, since this is the holiday podcast, is we actually thought about a couple of ideas of the top 10 least politically correct costumes of 2021, and I had the list right here, and I'll name them off, and we'll kind of go, just get through the list and kind of talk about them a little bit. I think there's some really good ones on here, actually. So, let's see. Off the bat, KKK costumes. How is that still a thing?
That's a 10 out of 10.
You guys can't see it at home, but there is a woman around a bunch of dudes in KKK outfits just having beers, and I'm sitting there like, why is this still a thing?
She's taking that better than you would expect, or maybe she's
and
fearing
it's not
for her
just
life.
any woman; it's a black one.
Yeah,
exactly right. I'm like, I was looking at the thing.
She's smiling too, and it's dark outside.
That could be a fear, smiling out of fear, maybe.
I don't know, man. But okay, the other one is going to be the Rihanna and Chris Brown costumes. And it features a lovely young lady here with it looks like a blush, or not blush, but just it makes it look like she has a black eye. This guy's got his arm around her shoulder, and he's smiling in a Chris Brown.
He's got a straight up Chris Brown mask.
That's at least an 8 out of 10. Inappropriate.
Oh no!
You're touching a hashtag Me Too.
Oh, then we got a Me Too moment.
Not Me Too possibly be in blackface, which is also inappropriate.
Yeah,
that's an 8.
I mean, because the guy's obviously white right here. And he's got a Chris Brown mask on. Yeah. I'm like, is that going a little bit towards the...
These hoes are loyal.
Indeed. Anyway, the next one on the list is homeless people. Apparently this is a costume now. Like, how are you going to...
2021, damn it.
I mean, if this is a woke costume, which is obviously not. I'm just saying, these guys are pretty much asleep if this is a woke costume. We also have a tampon. A fucking tampon.
Why would anyone ever want to be a tampon?
Well, this guy wanted to be a tampon. And that girl next to him in the photo looks so thrilled.
Compared to the KKK outfit, I think that's probably about a 5 out of 10.
I mean,
So,
if I had the choice, I would do the tampon. You know, if you put a gun to my head and said, okay, it can be those two. You gotta pick which one. I'm like, all right, give me the tampon.
the homeless guy, 6 out of 10 as far as Matt Boyce is concerned.
Holy shit!
Well, do we take in thought? I guess which would be, I don't know.
We got a lot of there's a lot of people on the sidewalks with the cup out.
I
in
don't
the
even
hand.
know what
So,
this is.
You see them everywhere. I'm a little desensitized to that, I think.
God, somebody went full Trayvon Martin
Oh,
costume.
wow.
I'm not gonna give that.
Let's not touch that.
I'm not.
Yeah.
That
Wow.
no. That's good lord. That's and he's not even black. So it's blackface, and it's the worst thing you could ever do. Then who is Cecil the Lion?
Oh, Cecil the Lion is the famous lion who got murdered by that dentist who was a big game.
Well, they got a costume called Cecil the Lion's Killer
You don't want
costume.
that. You don't want to be that either.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a guy in a dentist outfit holding a lion.
That's not as bad as blackface, but you're gonna piss a lot of people off at that. So it depends on what you're going for, though. Maybe if you want to be a heel and make some people mad and uncomfortable.
No one can cheer for that guy at all.
No, we're not cheering.
I mean, that's that's worse than, whatever, Well, there's a reason why, what's his name from the white tiger that killed him? What was his name?
Siegfried and Roy.
Yeah, which one was it? Is it Roy that died?
I don't know.
I don't know which one it is, but
Maybe Siegfried.
It may be Siegfried.
Anybody who gets that comfortable around an apex predator,
They're
is
both
pretty
big
much
gay
asking
guys
for
that
it.
love
Yeah.
tigers. I mean,
So,
and they're not the same guy. No.
not good.
I mean, that tiger was waiting, and he was just waiting for the one day that that's when he knew he fucked up,
The only person who has a tiger that I feel like can probably handle it is Mike Tyson, and he's kind of he's made me a believer.
Did maybe
over
watch
the years.
the Hangover and find that out?
He does a podcast now where he just eats mushrooms and talks to people.
And he hot boxes people. It's like, what is it called? Hot boxing?
It is hot boxing with Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it's crazy shit.
That's a shout out to Iron.
No,
Mike.
I mean he doesn't know us, but if
Don't show up to our
you know,
podcast and kick our ass.
I mean, as long as you don't say anything bad about him, I guess he's not going to do anything. But
Hey, there are rumors floating around that Logan Paul's next boxing match will be against Mike Tyson. I think we could all agree that would be a fun watch.
you ever want to see a white guy just get destroyed in one punch? That's how it's going to happen.
Now, I wouldn't mind watching.
Like a fucking white pinata full of oatmeal, just all over the ground.
See some Logan Paul brains.
And Mike Tyson's Punch Out
Like-
number 2.
This is what you
They're
open
gonna make
up,
a new game.
He's going to open them up like a pinata. Like, there's your diamond button.
Logan Paul brains kind of goes well with our Halloween episode here. Brains.
Well, if you guys haven't noticed, we got the logo. We're going to be having the logo put up pretty soon, but we got the parts of the logo here. We got the chainsaw. We got one of the masks it goes with the chainsaw, but we got the bubbles and we got the Viking helmet. And if you're wondering what any of that means, we don't know either. It was just random things. No, it's actually probably a part. We all decided that like this kind of would be like this is what each one of our brains look like on the inside, and that's kind of how we all just riff off each other and
I feel like we all kind of incorporate a piece of each one of those. Like
Yeah,
the Viking,
yeah.
the chainsaw
Yeah.
guy, the bubble guy.
I think everybody does. Everybody
I-
in society has a little bit of bubble. They have a little bit of Viking, and then they got a little bit of Chainsaw Massacre.
sometimes more than others.
So it's
Yeah.
a collection of maybe not just our personalities,
Yeah.
but societal personalities.
Oh, but I was going to say on the list, back to the list real quick. Gotta finish it up. All right, we got Anne Frank.
That's not good.
I mean, why is that even a costume still? I mean, James Holmes. Who's that?
Oh, that's the guy
that's
who
the guy
shot up the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado.
You should know this.
Not
That's the
good.
guy that.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah.
Batman premiere or something?
Oh, is that him? That's old as fuck.
Yeah, you still don't. You don't want to dress up as that guy.
No, he
Let's
did.
not put any.
This
shine
guy's
on
holding
it.
a movie ticket.
Oh, unbelievable.
Oh yeah. Well, there's to be fair.
To be fair,
There's been a lot of
all you Letterkenny lovers out there.
yeah, I know, right? Allegedly. I forgot this guy even existed at one point because there's been so many school shootings. What has happened?
That's
sad days, man.
yeah. You're not safe anywhere. It seems like.
Oh,
these
and
days, but,
next on the list is Caitlyn Jenner.
oh,
Because
it's a hot button issue.
yeah. Well, she's the sexiest woman of 2020, wasn't she? Or is that or whatever.
Well,
Her woman of the year, her first year as a woman. Is that what Dave just got in trouble with? Let's not get canceled our very first podcast.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay, yeah. Some of these costumes right here are just like they're just like sexy Donald Trump. I'm like, how's that possible?
Yeah, how's that a thing?
Sexy Donald Trump.
And
that's
prison
a one
Hillary.
actor.
They got prison Hillary Clinton on here. There you go. That's
Oh.
going. The Twin Tower. Okay, I'm done with this thing. Yeah. There's a reason why. Whoever came up with these costumes, man. Yeah. But that's to showcase the worst costumes of 2021. Why
so
they?
who wins?
Yeah, what would you guys say is the very worst?
Or don't I guess they all lose because they're bad.
I don't know, man. I
don't
mean,
know.
If I had to pick the sludgiest one that I don't like at all, it's the Trayvon Martin one because
That's pretty brash, man.
that's like the guy was in blackface and he was carrying Skittles and a bottle of juice and like had a wound on him. I'm like, no, okay.
Any costume where you got to go blackface is number one
That's a
worst.
murdered. That's somebody's murdered child right there.
And then I guess dressing up like the KKK is probably a close
Yeah,
second.
that's pretty.
You probably don't want to do either of
Then
those.
Anne Frank, I would say, takes like a close third.
Yeah.
Like,
Frank, yeah.
Very true.
What next to the twin? Someone dressed
I
up.
would say Cecil's killer, because Emma
I'd
Rice.
say
and then,
Cecil's
like,
killer and then
anyone that fucks
Twin
with the line,
Towers.
like
The
that's
Twin
not
Towers,
right, bro.
yeah.
Twin Towers is rough too.
The
Yeah,
Twin
exactly.
Towers.
We're talking
I'm like,
thousands
good
of-
lord. It's like.
Speaking of animals, R.I.P. Harambe.
Yeah. I think
No.
at this point Harambe's like, just leave me alone.
Let,
I mean, rest in
let
peace,
him, let
fam.
him haram be.
Yeah, let him Harambe. Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Good grief.
Yeah. Anyway, what are some? Speaking of, this is the Halloween episode. That'll be bring up costumes, but I can remember from my childhood having like a couple of bad costumes that I wore as, because when you're a kid you don't know any better and your parents don't have the heart to tell you. But I have this story. I'll start off with mine. Okay. I had moved to a small town when I was like at the end of second grade, and it's this town up in the mountains. Some people know, some people don't. Anyway, the whole big thing when we were kids was Power Rangers, and it was so intense that because it went from being played in the morning times.
Wait, so are we talking about our crappiest Halloween costumes?
Like the worst.
Is this what we're getting?
We're doing that. Yeah.
All
But
right.
anyway, so it's Halloween, circa 95, 94.
Back in 1995, Selva brought out amazing Power Rangers.
95 does feel like
Yeah,
a
that's
long
the time. I think that's the time of the year that I actually went and saw Power Rangers the movie in theaters.
Dude,
like,
I probably
twice.
watched that movie like fucking 500
Well,
times.
there
when
used
I
to
was
be a
kid.
theater down the street from here, over there, the Carmike Theater. You remember that one? It was the one where Target or Chili's is now, Barnes and Nobles.
I do.
Theater
I
Do
do.
you remember that theater? Well, I went there.
Oh yeah, there was a theater. There.
Yeah, yeah.
It's now with a
It's-
Verizon or some shit.
It's Verizon and it's Chili's and it's Barnes and Noble.
True.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I went and saw that movie there like
Word.
3 or 4 times. But anyway, back to the point. Okay, after that came out, and then the series brought out that godforsaken Ninjor character, and it was like, it's Ninjor. And I'm like, anyway, it was just Saban being like, we need more money,
Wasn't there like a Power Rangers reunion with all the previous Power Rangers or some shit not that long ago? It was like Jason David Frank was out in the forefront.
When
like,
is
hey.
Jason David Frank not involved with Power Rangers? I mean, that guy's like 55, and he's like, I'm still relevant, Anyway, let me get back to my story. I'll go ahead and finish it out on this one. The awkward part about it was not the Power Rangers. Okay, see, this town was not really like. Let's just say that the closest person of color was not there. I mean, it was a pretty.
Let's just say there was no black people in this.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could say that as an understatement. Well, anyway, it's Halloween, 1995 or 6 or something like that. My mom, you know, it's like I think it happened around payday. You know, when you're a kid and around payday, your mom's like, "Wait till payday, we'll go to your costume."
Absolutely.
Well, anyway, we go. It's payday. I'm excited. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna go up there and get me a Power Rangers costume. I'm gonna be awesome." Well, anyway, I arrive at the store. It is like I think that weekend is Halloween, and I go in there, and keep in mind, this is not that kind of town where you know there's everybody. There's only one of somebody, and I walk in there, and the only costume left was the Black Ranger costume in full regalia. So there's the Black Ranger costume all stocked up, plenty of those left in every size imaginable, and the Yellow Ranger. Well, me being, you know, who I am and being like, you know, like I'm a little boy, so I'm like, I want to be the boy. So I guess in my brain was like, the world's not ready for that yet, Brett. So hold on, Bert. You know, we got you. You know, so I was the Black Ranger. Well, I'm walking around this whole white town as the Black Ranger, and everybody's just giving me looks like, "Heh." And that was my awkward costume from childhood. I have another one I'll talk about later. But, yeah.
So basically, you were doing blackface before blackface was
Whoa,
cool.
hold up now. No, it was not. No one never said that. No. What I was representing a person of the Power Rangers that represented in that town. I felt like I needed to say like, hey, you know, Zach matters too. So
does anybody think it's racist that the Black Ranger had to be a black guy in the
There's
first place?
actually
I've
a
often
controversy.
thought
Well,
that
I feel
probably
like it was
honestly
like
was a bad move.
the Red Ranger was like, you know, average American dude.
Mm-hmm.
The Yellow Ranger was Asian.
Oh, that is messed
Oh,
up.
man.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they changed it up. In the
Billy was
States.
what, like Irish or some shit, and he was blue.
Well, back when the actors actually were playing, you know, they were renegotiating contracts. They wanted more money, but one of the controversies that was started like you know about it was the fact that they were like, "Hey, this is kind of like not good," and you know, so they're like, "Okay, well, for season 2, we're gonna bring in like 3 more characters because these people want raises and I'm hiring Saban and I can't go for that." So bye the Red Ranger and everything, you know. So now that had changed up for that reason. I mean, that was pretty obvious.
So I guess not to like deter away or whatever, but like, who was the OG Power Ranger?
What do you mean?
Like, who was the bad motherfucker?
I mean, for me, it was always the Red Ranger. Like, I felt like whoever was the Red Ranger was usually the leader.
I don't know,
you
man. I mean, I feel like the Red Ranger was semi-leader, but fucking Tommy, bro. Tommy
Tommy may have been the bad.
and he was a White Ranger, bro. He was like fucking. He was OP as fuck. Like
the White Ranger.
the Dragon Zord, bro.
He came along too
the
late.
fucking
for me,
White
man.
Tiger, bro.
The OG's that Red
The Saba
Ranger.
Sword.
I
The
mean,
fucking
if you wanna
Dragon
get
Dagger,
if
bro.
you want to get technical,
When I was fucking like 10 years old, I wanted a fucking Dragon Dagger, bro.
I wanted a Dragon Dagger too. I might have had one.
I begged my mom for a Dragon Dagger, bro.
you still don't have one.
I still don't have.
He has adult money and
I
no
would suck
Dragon
some
Dagger.
dick for a Dragon Dagger.
I know.
No, don't do that. He's kidding. He's kidding. Guys. He's kidding.
Christmas is coming right up. Now I know. What
I don't
can
know,
get Big
man.
Mark.
Yeah,
It's been 20 fucking years and I still don't have a Dragon Dagger. No, I'm sure.
20 years, no Dragon Dagger. It's a sign. Well, anyway, so that was my awkward costume. You guys have any?
What about you, Mark? You got any
Oh, man.
wacky, tacky costumes?
Oh, I guess if I'm trying to think about it, like, worst costume I've ever had? Well, I guess I kind of had a similar situation to Brett, where it was kind of like, well, not that I just like, you know, I already knew what I wanted to be from day one when I guess, and I was probably like young. I've always had an infatuation with like Marvel and Spider-Man, Venom, all that shit.
Yeah.
And yeah, Spider-Man was like one of my favorite comic books to read when I was a kid.
Not to mention they had the series, you know. Like
oh, dude, Amazing Spider-Man and fucking I read all the books or all the comics. And
you know,
all that
growing
shit.
up on that.
I watched
show,
that OG show like pretty much that stayed pretty true to a lot of the shit. Like that was like the coolest shit in the 90s. But yeah, I loved Spider-Man. I wanted to be fucking Spider-Man for Halloween one year. And when I was a kid, I was kind of a bigger kid, so I was like, a big boy, thick boy nation represent. So whenever it came time to get my costume, we were going around looking for Spider-Man costumes, and as a bigger kid, you don't get the first pick of all the cool costumes, even if you have what you were looking for pretty planned out.
Yeah.
You gotta look for the big boy costumes. And looking for a Spider-Man costume, I was like dead set on being Spider-Man, regardless of what.
Your
so
mom
when it
just
boiled
comes
down
back
to
with a red trash bag with Spider-Man.
she drew a spider on it and shit. No,
Your fatty Arbuckle, here's your Spider-Man.
I might have to use a Thanos snap to go back in time, so I'm not fucking but yeah, we were looking for costumes. We looked all over town for Spider-Man costumes.
Yeah.
And trying to find a big boy Spider-Man costume's not the easiest task. So what it boiled down to is my mom got me a fucking Spider-Man costume that was like a size or two too small.
Oh no.
So I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna be Spider-Man. So I go out with my Spider-Man costume. My fucking tights are on. They're just tight as fuck, like super fucking tight. Like, just, I'm not even gonna go there because I was a kid, so we're not gonna talk about that. But and I had the typical the gut hang. I had a Spider-Man top on, but then I had some gut hang.
So you weren't doing any wall crawling. You were just like crawling on the ground.
I would crawl on the ground.
I
had the fucking stomach sticking out. It was kind of like I was a fat black Spider-Man. Like if Miles Morales was like a fat kid from fucking,
So you were Rick Ross with a Spider-Man costume.
I didn't have a beard yet. So
yeah, you did.
I think you were born
I've had
with
this
that
beard
beard.
since I was 5.
I've known Mark a long time, and I've pretty much always known Mark with a beard. So
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
He was born with it on. It was hanging off. Oh no.
Trying to sling webs and
Man, you can imagine.
not getting very far.
Yeah.
Not getting off the ground, just kind of like the web just dragging you across the ground. That's perfect.
Man.
On base saying, telling me to get on the treadmill and shit.
Yeah. I'm trying to give you the whole, Marilyn Monroe kind of thing. I told you get on the treadmill there, Marilyn.
It's messed up.
Goodbye, Norma Jean.
I really don't have any embarrassing costumes because when I was a kid, this is actually a good piece of nostalgia that's sitting right here on this table. That Jason mask right there hanging off of that chainsaw was literally my Halloween costume from age 6 until I stopped wearing a Halloween costume. I just figured it out early that all I had to do was put this goofy mask on and I could just walk around and get candy. And so I put very little creative effort into my costume. I was literally Jason from 6 years old until I stopped trick-or-treating probably at 13 years old. I was a little kid, so I didn't have to... I could look 11 even when I was 13. Not like you two Husky boys.
Yeah, no. Husky Boy Nation.
I'm surprised you didn't go as Matt Boyce for Halloween.
Yeah.
Matt Boyce, there actually was one year where I went as a wrestler and I wore like the trunks and stuff. And
for those of you who don't
weird.
know,
Yeah.
our man Matt over here has been a professional wrestler for the last...
Hi, my name's Matt Boyce. I've been on TV.
I try not to do that. I try not to be that guy.
I'm on TV.
On TV's Matt Boyce.
Now, in certain areas, some people may know what that means, but here in Arkansas, I've not done a ton of wrestling in the state of Arkansas, which is actually kind of a good thing. But I did wrestle for 15 years, and I just had my last match ever. I'm retiring from wrestling about 3 weeks ago. So being able to put that behind me and put the same energy that I have for wrestling into this podcast with you guys is going to make the transition out of wrestling a whole lot easier.
Hi, my name is Matt Boyce. You may have seen me get knocked out by Tyson Kidd on TV.
I didn't get knocked out.
No.
But I did get my ass kicked.
I did see him knock out the Great Sabu. That was a real thing that happened. And that was amazing. Because actually, Sabu knocked himself out with Matt. So that was pretty crazy.
That's actually a great story for anybody who's a wrestling fan. I'll just tell a quick story. I had my boy Brett here. Mark, were you on that trip, Mark, or it was just me and Brett?
It was Christmas.
I know we went to the casino afterwards, right, Metropolis. So Sabu, ECW legend, hardcore wrestling legend. We had a show in, I think it was Elizabethtown, Illinois, and Sabu. I was very nervous. I mean, obviously a young man, 23 years old or so.
Actually, wasn't it? It was in Elizabethtown, or no? We went to Metropolis afterwards.
Yeah, we went to Metropolis after, but it was in Elizabethtown. What's funny about Elizabethtown is the first time I ever traveled there. It's such a spot in the road that I ended up having to take a ferry across a river to get there.
Of course you did.
Really sketchy.
Elizabethtown.
But I was wrestling Sabu, and my heart's pounding out of my chest. I'm super nervous, and we have separate locker rooms, like where I was a babyface at the time, so we had a babyface locker room and a heel locker room, and he kept sneaking over to the babyface locker room, or he thought he was sneaking, but he would put this sheet on his head, and everyone knew it was him from like his shiny, shimmery pants and his boots and shit underneath.
Like that wasn't the first giveaway.
But he keeps sneaking over, and I'm not trying to throw Sabu under the bus. Lord knows we all love him, but he had some substance abuse problems, and he was jacked on something, man. So he's like talking 90-0, telling me all this stuff that he wants to do in the match, sniffing, over and over, and he keeps saying, "Hey, if I seem too turned up, if I seem like really, up, I've just had a bunch of coffee," is what he tells me. I'm like, okay, that ain't coffee. So he tells me all this stuff.
That's some Black Rifle coffee right there.
Goes back and forth, several times. Well, we finally get out there for the match, and the bell rings, and he literally full dead sprints across the ring, tackles me, and it was just a shit show from there. Like, just literally fighting Sabu, basically, for like 10, 15 minutes. We finally get to the point where the match is about to be over. I shove him off the top rope, and he rolls up to take a crossbody, and he just stands there with his arms down, like almost behind his back.
He
like
just stands there.
Just fucking stands there.
Like he just disassociated or something.
Is that a train in front of me?
That's like, I mean, at the time I weighed probably 210 or so pounds, so I come jumping off. I do my very best to kind of stay off of him, but I hit him, my full body weight right on his head, drive him into the mat. Boom. And sure enough, knock him unconscious. I pin him 1, 2, 3. Go back to the locker room. Maybe 15 minutes later, he comes sneaking back into the locker room and he says, "Hey, man, I think you kneed me in the head on that crossbody, knocked me out." And I just looked at him and said, "Well, maybe I did, but since you didn't catch me at all, I think maybe it was just my whole weight, like landing on your entire body and head, that knocked you unconscious." So that was our Sabu time,
yeah.
And luckily that was the first and last time I wrestled Sabu.
Yeah.
So, but it was everything that you could imagine it being. Definitely one of my most hardcore experiences in wrestling.
And that's definitely, and to watch, it was just like, the most, if you want to talk about a literal representation of a turd sandwich, that was a turd sandwich.
It was a bit of a turd sandwich.
I mean, it was a bit of a strong turd sandwich.
And then it ended with...
Heavy on the turd, less on which.
Drizzle of the shits at the end.
No mayo on there?
You don't want to be known as a guy who knocked out Sabu, but that list is pretty damn long, so you don't have to really worry too much.
It's not like you rank number one.
No.
I'm pretty sure that guy's
like
knocked out.
This guy is...
What happened? Well, I breathed on him and he fell over.
He's a tough guy, man. He's a tough guy.
I'm sure he's knocked himself out a couple of times.
Yeah. With all that coffee,
all that coffee. It was like
that coffee's pretty stout, man.
I think everything that he had been doing that night sort of came to a head when I was in midair coming down. Like he literally just had this glassy look in his eyes, like all the shit just hit the fan, and he didn't care what.
Like Ave Maria was playing in his head as you came down. Oh man. But anyway,
there's only so much you can do.
Yeah.
To keep from landing on a guy.
But that's one of the many stories you'll hear from Matt over the course of this podcast. Not this particular one, but there's a lot of them, and we've seen a lot of it too. And it's it got pretty wild. But the costumes, were if you did the Jason costume, that's you always had a free out pretty much.
Exactly.
Like, you just cheated the system. You're like that one kid who just like was like, who are you supposed to be for Halloween? I don't feel ways about stuff. Give me candy.
Hey, now, I will say, in my adult life, when I was finally a little older and I'm taking other kids trick-or-treating, my little brother and things like that, I put the Jason mask on, and I put a cowboy hat on, and I was Jason Aldean. And I thought that was pretty clever. And I was really proud of myself.
You said Phil, and I don't know why, like, Phil popped in my head, but then I was like, has anyone ever gone as Phil Collins for Halloween?
I'm pretty sure Phil Collins is going to
You're probably right about
yeah,
that.
that or
That's
like,
great.
what's
Just
his
walk around doing the drop. Do.
I knew at some point Mark was going to have to fit. He was going to have to fit some sort of drum beat or drum solo into this because Mark is the resident rock star of the group. He is a great drummer and he has his own band. Talk a little bit about your band, Mark. I mean, let people know what you're about.
Well, I'm in a band called Necrosomnium. I played music since I was probably 5 years old. Grew up in it. My mother was a classically trained pianist, sung choir, all the kind of stuff like that. I did kind of the same thing.
But in a Spider-Man costume.
Yeah, in a Spider-Man costume. I almost got fame from it because, people love, fat Spider-Mans, but...
Yeah.
No,
I didn't know that. That's news to me.
I actually had some old cougars hit me up the other day. Say, I remember you back in that Spider-Man costume.
Yeah. Really need me some chubby spiders right now. Get some of that web.
Yeah, the back. They were hungry for some Black Forest ham, I guess.
You were 5. They should be in prison.
But I guess like I started learning drums when I was 5. My mom tried to teach me piano, but of course I'm a big music head and I started banging on everything I could when I was a kid. So pots and pans, cardboard boxes, and to the point where my mom finally got mad enough that I was stealing all her pots and pans and crap and bought me a drum set. And said, all right, if you can either play piano or you can play drums. And I was like, why would I want to play piano? Jeez. No. As I'm older now, I wish I would have learned it more.
Yeah.
But, I've been playing drums since I was 5.
Serenading
And then I've been picking up other random instruments like trombone, trumpet, baritone, tuba. Man.
Yeah, that just went out for a second.
It did. I thought, man, what are we doing? We getting hit by lightning or something over here?
No.
All of a sudden you were just gone. But Big Mark said, you wish you would have learned how to play piano. You don't play pianos for the ladies, but Mark chose the drums for the bros, man.
Yeah.
And he is a great drummer, though. I don't want him selling himself short. And Brett is a man of many, many talents. That's why I call him Brettos, the fresh maker, because Brett makes every situation a little fresher. Whoa. Wait just a second. Stop the show. It's shameless plug time. Matt Boyce here, repping my wholesale business, Boyceco. That's BOYCECO on Facebook. It's Boyceco. If you're looking for anything new items, furniture, baby products, baby cribs, you name it, we pretty much have had it. That's Boyceco. And you're paying used prices for new items. And who doesn't want that? When you're right in the middle of all this inflation. It's hitting me right in my wallet, I know that. So that is BOYCECO, Boyceco on Facebook. Back to the show. But Brett is the fresh maker. He's Brettos. He's kind of like the wolf off of Pulp Fiction. If you need anything done, Brett can probably do it and help you out. And he's helped me out with a whole lot of stuff. Maybe I'll get into some of that stuff at some point. I'm not ready
Maybe
to
so.
shake
Maybe less than others. Yeah, I mean... I have another designation, which is the Bert Harley dynasty.
Tell everybody a little bit about Bert Harley.
Well, Bert Harley's my alter ego. I guess he's he's the man, the myth, the legend, in his own right. But when you got a weird name anyway, growing up, substitute teachers just did not care. So I'm in 5th grade, and they're doing a role, and it's a sub, and I don't know who she is, and she don't know who I am, obviously, because she can't say my name. So she's like, Bert Harley, and then I get the devastating treat of getting laughed at in class. And then, like, after that, it kind of...
How do you get Bert from B-R-E-T-T?
You'd be surprised what people do in this state, man. Like, they look at your name and say, like, they look at my name, and I've been called Brent.
Is your
Bert.
name Marquez? Is there a Q in my name?
That's some seriously racist shit. They called you Marquez. I'm like, who
That's a
did
bit
that?
of a stretch right there.
Hey, I
What
think,
weirds me out is like how people like when I go by my full name Marcus.
Well, you can't do that anymore. You already got it.
People are like, do you spell your name with a K? It's like, wait, how is there a K in my name?
There's not.
I'm not
Why
into
would there
it.
be a K?
It's like
He
Joseph.
got that M-A-R-C.
We'll save the K for later.
Yeah.
But I think Bert Hartley is badass. I mean, you know, like those kids make
It sounds like an action star or like
Yeah,
a
they might
porn
have
star's
been,
name.
No, it kind of just reminds
He's
me
an
of, like,
action porn
Like,
star.
wow. There you go. Double entendre. I do my own stunts. in
Coming
it.
this summer,
Yeah, literally.
Bert Hurley.
coming this literal.
Literally. You know.
Another day till Dicktown.
Dun, dun. Countdown to Dicktown.
Talking about substitute teachers and the names, I hate my middle name. I hate it. And I love my father, and it was his middle name, and it was his father's middle name, but he cursed me with it. So we're sitting in class, we'd have a sub, and I would always be sitting there just fingers crossed, praying that they're not going to say my full name.
Who
And they
says your
hit you
full
with
name
the-
anyway? I
They
mean,
hit
like,
you with the Matthew Ronald Boyce.
I forgot.
And then I was
your name.
Ronald McDonald.
And it's like,
for the
like
entire
instantly, as
rest of
soon
the
as she says Ronald, like you just like, imagine yourself with the clown, like fucking hair and all that shit.
It hurts, man.
And the
Now-
clown makeup, and you're like, fuck.
The entire sixth grade, the rest of the sixth grade year, I'm just Ronald. And then I dated a girl in sixth grade where I thought she was my little girlfriend. McDonald was her last name. We're Ronald McDonald. I ended that relationship over Ronald McDonald. I said, no, can't do it. Don't do it to me. That's
Did you?
harsh.
Did you have a little slow friend named Grimace?
I got two little slow friends that I call Grimace, but I don't call you guys that, you know, to your face. Oh!
You
Shots
dick.
fired here. I'm just playing. I'm just joking.
Well, anyway, like, yeah, costumes, man. Like, it brings up another interesting point of like, you know, what are? And I was just thinking about this the other day. What are the worst Halloween movies that that you kind of seen, or like, because I've seen some cringy ones, man. I got one, but let's see.
There are some seriously cringe movies out there, and there are some cringe movies that a lot of people really like that I have a tremendous problem with. And I actually brought a little something that I've wrote down here because I thought this might come up because of Halloween, and I got to get it off my chest.
All right,
So
all right.
I'm just going to kind of go to my notes, if you will, here. We have the Halloween franchise with Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Michael Myers is the single worst villain, serial killer villain in movie history, in my opinion.
Really?
He moves at one speed,
Yeah.
ungodly slow. But does he have superpowers? I wrote that. Superpowers? Because 1 minute they're looking at him out the window, they're making direct eye contact, and then it pans back over, he's gone. So where did he go? And they don't really elaborate on that sort of stuff, but this guy's moving at literally a mile an hour. How does he catch a soul? How does he catch anybody? First of all.
Yeah.
And I know it's a movie, you gotta suspend belief, but this has been going on. Where are the police? It was my first question. And it's been going on for fucking 40 years. He got locked up, it says for 40 years. This is before Michael Myers comes back in 2018 when they came back. You know how old Michael Myers would have had to have been when he came back? Because he started this whole thing at 21 years old. He came back at 61, and he's still doing the same thing. And he's still getting
Gray hairs
around
and
the
all.
same way. So now, Halloween Kills, which has just come out, he would be 64 years old. They've been letting him get away with this shit for 40 plus years.
What is up with that town?
60, yeah, I mean, I put here, how does he catch anyone? I've already hit on that. Mental institution. They keep putting the guy in a mental institution like he's going to be rehabilitated. Let's put his ass in jail. Let's put him in jail in solitary, throw away the key. I mean, if you're still letting this guy do this stuff after 40 years...
He's gonna be coming after people with a walker next movie.
Go ahead and just lay it down and let him kill you. If if you're still letting them get away with the shit after 40 years. And then it says, well, I wrote, have we not learned our lesson? And I mean it. After 40 years, you either move out of the town, you either go ahead and just concede, or let's go ahead and let's get some folks together.
How is Jamie Lee Curtis doing this?
Well, and that's my last point. Jamie Lee Curtis has made a fucking 20-year career off of the Halloween franchise. And I put, that's a bunch of bullshit. Boo! So, you know, I mean, and back in the day when she was in the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, I thought she was kind of hot, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Like, I was a little kid seeing that for the first time. I thought, all right, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis is pretty good.
Wasn't she in her, like, her 30s when that movie was going on? Because she was in her 20s when she made Halloween, I think.
I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis now,
like
she looks like a lady she looks like a crazy cat lady, dude. Still making bank off of Halloween Kills, doing the same old shit from 1970.
Her entrance to the new
Bucket
Halloween
shot.
movie. Oh, I didn't even see that.
I'm not into it, man. I'm sick of the Halloween franchise.
Go back to making yogurt commercials.
Activia. She's
That's
staying
what my doctor
regular.
told me to eat that stuff. I tried one.
That's how she gets away from Michael all the time. Because she's so regular.
Excuse me, Michael, but I gotta go poop.
Is there a family bathroom nearby?
That's what she's doing when she's
Zing zing.
that's what she does during her downtime when he's in the mental institution until he breaks out.
Well, I'm
and
gonna
gets
do all these probiotic commercials till Michael gets out again, and he can chase us around.
ridiculous. But yeah, the Halloween franchise, that's got to be done and over, man. Enough's enough.
Yeah.
I mean, let's either catch them, kill them, or
they
just have them
pretty
burn
much.
the town down and let's be done with it.
Yeah, they pretty much.
Did
like,
they try to burn him one time?
They did burn him, and he apparently can rejuvenate.
I don't know. I think there's something wrong. I think there's something with that William Shatner mask they used to make his costume. Like, there's got to be some magic spells behind that thing. He's like, you know what? I think we're going to come back out and do it again.
The wearer of this mask.
Yeah. Where does he keep finding knives? You know, like...
I wonder that too. I
You
wonder
know, like, it's the same knife every time. I mean, didn't they go out of production at one point?
He's hiding under his rectum when he goes to the mental institution.
Well, I mean, that's the
Do
thing.
they have a drawer or something like that? We're going to put Michael's knife in his drawer.
He's got a little magic suitcase.
He's in the mental institution. You would think that the kitchen there would know not to have those knives. So that means when he gets out, first thing he's doing is slowly walking over and breaking into somebody's house and getting that fucking knife. That's what he would have to be doing, right? No.
I mean, it's like they're like,
It's
oh,
bullshit.
Michael,
I mean, it's
Michael,
the
we saved
shit.
your knife for you, bud. It's in your drawer of things.
It's the shit.
Mask,
I don't like it.
knife.
And that's why I was kind of saying, as much as I've enjoyed being Jason Voorhees and getting my free candy from 6 to 13,
Yeah.
I can't even get into Brett's shirt over here, man. Friday the 13th, that's why I took a stand. I didn't dress up as anything because all of these slasher movies just...
They even
I'm
brought
over
back
it. I don't
Scream,
like it.
bro.
No.
Yeah, I don't
No,
like
thank
how
you.
Hollywood is like, you know, let's not make any good movies anymore. In fact, let's just rehash some old shit and throw it at the wall and hope it sticks.
Yeah, let's just recycle.
Nah.
That's what they do now.
And they're not even remaking things that you can actually remake. The original Toxic Avenger movie, which is, I don't know if you've ever seen that piece of campy masterpiece material. That could be remade into something cool. But no, we're still stuck with that one thing from the 80s where the nerd gets stuck in a vat of toxic waste by a bunch of bully jocks and he turns into Milkman, you know?
Yeah, horror movies have gone to crap here nowadays. Like, even like the writing and what they could have done with a lot of movies. Like the Purge movies. Like I heard the original like promo for that movie. Like it was essentially like a warning, like the siren that airs, and then they give the warning for the purge is about to happen. I literally was driving in a car, heard that go off on my Pandora, and I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck is going on?"
Awesome.
And then I realized it was a fucking girl. Like, "Oh, purge coming this summer." I was like, "Oh well, fucking shit."
I was getting ready to
And then I
burst,
was like
dude.
hyped as fuck because I was like, "Yo, this premise is badass." Like, it's literally like crime is completely legal for one fucking night. There should have been so much like crazy shit go down. And so much like cinematography, like just magic that happened.
Yeah.
There really should have been some debauchery. Like they should have just went all fucking out with that.
You guys remember
But they
during
didn't.
There was a video footage of, like during the riots.
I could write way better fucking movies than the
Well, do
shit's
you guys
coming out.
remember that during the riots? Remember that they were just like the people were running and like busting into businesses and stealing stuff. But then there's just randomly like these two homeless guys just going at it, having some sex right there on the side of the street. Yeah, dude, it's like right in the middle of nowhere. It was just like dude. I'm like,
I'm fortunate to have not.
they're just like so excited about stuff.
I didn't see this either. Was this like bum fights, but then the companion for bum fights, like bum fucks or some shit?
Yeah, it's like,
You might be onto something.
it's got Pee Wee Herman in a one piece, just like across the way.
You think we could afford Pee Wee Herman to be the advertiser?
I mean, he's got to be able.
Maybe in a year or so.
We got that Pee Wee money now.
So I know I've kind of went on a bit of a tangent about Halloween, which I just absolutely cannot stand, but I'd like to get both of your opinion of a movie that just doesn't do it for you, or a movie that you think should have never been made. That's
definitely
Halloween based.
Okay, I'm gonna set the stage for you guys for this movie. Now, this came out in 1990, so this was not one of those old 70s campy they didn't know what they were doing. This was 1990. Television and movies were well established throughout the 80s and everything. This is a movie called I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Wait, what?
I Bought a Vampire Motorcycle.
Can we get a premise for what this
I'm
movie's
about to tell
about,
you.
please?
It says, when a motorbike gang kills an occultist, the evil spirit he was summoning inhibits a damaged bike, meaning the motorcycle. The bike is then bought and restored, but reveals its true nature when it tries to exact vengeance on the gang. And then everyone else who gets in its way. A man inadvertently buys a motorcycle that is possessed by a vampire demon, which then tries to kill the biker gang. Cursed, yeah. Well, anyway, this movie, the whole time, it's an old school bike. This guy gets bit by its spokes, little vampire teeth. It bit him and turned, and it's literally what it is. It is nothing more shamelessly just what it is than that. It is a vampire motorcycle. And I was sitting there looking at this movie like, what in the fuck is going on here? Because I'm like, this is 1990. I mean, this is, you just came from the 80s. The heyday of the cheesy 80s movie, is like Hellraiser 6, we're not tired of this shit yet, and it had the Jason movies and the Michael Myers movies, it had all those in there, but then you just were like, okay, and randomly it's a vampire motorcycle that bites people and fucking rolls around like he's hot shit because he's a vampire motorcycle.
That's almost like that Rubber movie, or what was that one movie from the late or early 80s, I think.
What are you talking about?
It was almost similar, it was like a possessed bike or some shit.
I mean, how many possessed motorcycle / bike films have we had?
Apparently too many.
And I love that this wasn't just a demon. It was a vampire demon. Because that's totally realistic.
Yeah, it's
I mean, not only was it possessed, but it was possessed with a vampire.
Yeah.
Where did the vampire?
And it still needs blood.
Who bit into this fucking bike?
Yeah, who bites a motorcycle?
That's some wacky shit, man. I've never heard of that. I may need to give that a watch, I guess.
It was Dracula hard up or something. He was like,
He's like,
you know what? I'm pretty tired of biting humans.
Huffing fumes or something,
I'm pretty tired of biting humans. I think I'll just bite this motorcycle.
Speaking of 1990, though, I think from what I can think of, the best one I could think of that was just pure madness, in my book, was also a movie from 1990.
Oh, was it the same? Okay.
I think if I can think of a movie that just stands out as a weird, just horror Halloween-esque movie, it was 1990's Frankenhooker.
Frankenhooker?
Yes.
Yes, I've seen this movie.
This is a grand, amazing film from the year 1990.
I'm missing out.
I can't remember the director. What's the... Well, I'll tell you the premise of the movie. It was came out in 1990. Cheesy, almost
it's everything you expect it to be.
Everything's cheesy in 1990.
Yeah, super cheesy, bro. So the idea of Frankenhooker was essentially there was this kid. I don't remember his name. he was a medical student. He kind of like had some, stuff going on. He had a girlfriend. They were like madly in love, childhood, young, teenage, whatever, love. And they're like, yeah. And then there's like this freak accident, right? There's a freak accident. His girlfriend dies.
Oh no.
So he's
Make
like,
it
oh
away.
man, I'm so heartbroken. My old lady's gone. I'm still in love with her. I don't know what I'm gonna do without her. So what does he do? I think it was a crazy car wreck, and like the only thing that's left is like her head or something. So he saves her head in like a fridge, and he's like, I'm gonna bring her back to life because he's a medical student. Mm-hmm. So what he's decided to do? How he's gonna like rebuild his old lady into like the best that she could ever be?
Murder
Decides he's gonna go through Manhattan and he's gonna murder all these prostitutes, and then he's gonna take parts of their bodies and build his girlfriend back.
That's straight up fucked up. I never heard of it. It's unbelievable.
And it's a really grand, ridiculous movie.
I mean, it sounds like how Jeffrey Dahmer got started.
Yeah. It's really not grand though, but it's ridiculous.
I mean, what are we doing?
He went through so many hookers in that movie. Like he didn't just kill like maybe like 5 and called it.
And I think he even like tries to befriend one. Like he's like, I can't kill her. She's too nice to me.
My favorite part of that whole thing is Mark says, he just saved her head, because he's a medical student. Like, that shit's realistic. He's a medical student.
Let me just freeze her head and bring her back to life.
Say this on Microsoft Word and put this in the freezer.
Yeah, this kind of stuff.
I'm going to save her head next to Walt Disney.
Kind of acts like... Mark's kind of acting like that's just a normal medical thing to do. Like, we saved this head. I mean, we can definitely get her back up and running here in a few days.
Richard Nixon's head over there across the street.
He's like the most optimistic mechanic ever. It's just like, we'll get it back up in a couple of days or so.
I don't think it's.
Why'd you go like the super northern?
Because that's what tough guy up north mechanics sound like.
Well, don't you know? The Flickerbogger. No, I'm a mechanic. That's stupid. Flickerbogger.
The Flipping
What if they just named parts like that? Like, they were just off the wall weird names.
That's how it sounds to people like me anyway. I don't know. I'm like, catalytic converter. What does that mean? But my car's a normal car.
You mean Cadillac converter.
I can't go back in time in my car. I don't fucking know. I mean, that's what I'm trying to say.
Cadillac converter.
Like, it sounds like some shit off
into a Ford.
I'm like, that sounds like something off the DeLorean. I don't know what any of this stuff is.
I'm just naming random car things.
It's like a timing belt. I'm like, but I don't have a clock in my car. Like it's digital.
I gotta reset it sometimes when the daylight savings times happens.
I gotta figure out.
Yeah, we live in a park.
I'm gonna take it back. I'm gonna take it to Mark and let him do that.
Just show up. It's like, I need you to change my clock. Huh? Change it now.
It'll be right.
It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Go home, Matt. No.
I need help, man. I need it right now. That's what's good about having a mechanic friend. Is if you ever need anything done.
Yeah, that's what all Mark's friends pretty much are like. Oh, I know a mechanic, eh?
Yeah. I like how Mark has a bunch of Canadian friends. I need a mechanic, eh?
I know a mechanic, eh? No, that's partially the reason why I've never actually just got another truck. I was kind of like, well, now I'm finding myself needing to buy a truck, because I'm like, I kind of need things.
I'm starting to need a truck myself. Well,
you get to a certain age in your life, and sometimes you just need to buy a truck.
A truck would really help with the business, man. And trucks are expensive though. So buy a car with like 11,000 miles on it, it's like $15,000. You go buy a truck that's got 11,000 miles on it, it's $40,000. So it's unbelievable. I think maybe right now it's a good time to get out and buy a vehicle though. Inflation is up and people are desperate to sell. So let me encourage folks to go ahead, go trade that car in. Maybe you're not upside down anymore.
Yeah, and like Bob Seger said, like a rock.
Okay, so this is a good story actually. Like a ruh. Because my brother Ryan, you guys know Ryan pretty well.
Yeah.
He had a friend named Derek, and Derek was just kind of a meathead, total jock. And we're sitting there watching the Royal Rumble at Derek's house. He would always buy the pay-per-views, so we'd go over there and try to use them for the pay-per-views. And this fucking Chevy commercial comes on, they're like a sponsor for the Royal Rumble, and the guy's singing like a rock, and then. Derek says, I've never understood these commercials. I mean, the song just doesn't make any sense. And Ryan and I are like looking at each other. He says, what's he mean by like a ruh? And I was like, what? And he says, yeah. And he says, like a what's a ruh? And I said, dude, it's a fucking, like a rock. And you would have thought that I had 6 heads. Like, he looked at me so confused.
What do you have, a rock in your brain?
Like a ruh. So, shout out to Big D, Derek Parks. If you're out there and you see this.
Shout out to
You're
PB&J.
famous, bro.
Parks Boys.
Parks, Boyce, and Jones. Yeah. PB&J. That's a story for another day.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that's pretty much like these movies that we're talking about, like the, you know, we were thinking about, you know, things we could bring up for Halloween, and all we really have is just like these movies and these things that we've seen, like costume wise and everything like that, to kind of bring out what our version of Halloween looks like, because, you know, it's not like we're, you know, dressing up anymore, you know. I mean, I
guess them days are gone. I mean, I could always still don the Jason mask though. See, if I ever want to bring it back, mine's easy. I don't have to get out and find.
We used to have to.
Don't you have to get the outfit though? You gotta have the jumpsuit.
Not at all, bro. You just throw that mask on.
And where is he keep finding these jumpsuits, dude? like he doesn't gain any weight.
Why haven't they shut down Camp Crystal Lake?
Makes no sense. Drain it. Go ahead and just drain the thing. None of that shit makes any sense. I hate all of that
There's
stuff.
probably bodies all the way at the bottom of that thing.
I mean, let's go ahead and drain that thing. See, maybe he's got all of the suits down there. He comes out of there wearing them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like
he's got like a fortune.
He lives in a cave not far from Camp Crystal Lake. He returns when the sun
That
rises.
makes good sense. Comes out of the lake from inside the underground.
Like, I remember watching one of them where he was like, he came back and he had like seaweed on him. I'm like, there's no seaweed in a lake.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, I'm like, these special effects are just
Freddy versus
stupid.
Jason.
That one
Jason X.
Freddy, I don't mind as much for some reason.
Because it's Robert Englund.
I mean, he'll get in there and get you in your dreams.
That pedophile.
Oh, come on.
Well, he was.
It's like I say, hey, I kind of like Freddy, and Mark's like, that pedophile? Like, you don't gotta lump me into that.
That's his backstory, though.
Just because I like the guy a little bit, you just gotta say he's a pedophile. Call me out.
Well, you're friends with the pedophile.
I'm not friends, but I didn't say I was friends with him at all. I said I kind of like the Freddy movies a little bit.
Under the bus you go.
Like, you know what? I don't really. Those Freddy movies are not very good either, actually.
Yeah, Freddy Krueger was
so. Oh, now he changed the story.
Yeah. No,
truth comes out.
But
that really is the origin story of him. He got
cool with Freddy.
I'm
cool with Freddy.
It's like, it's kind of like he comes back because he's all mad at the town or whatever. And he's mad at the town. He's pretty much like, they're mad at him for being a pedophile, which is a logical choice to be mad at somebody over.
Absolutely.
And nobody can convict him on anything. I guess something happened in court. And then they were like, you know what, we're just going to get together and burn him to death over there at the old, steel mill. And he comes back mad. I'm like, people got the audacity to be mad at him. Like,
was he like wrongfully accused?
No,
because that
he
would
really
take
did that.
things into a different direction.
See, now you're trying to stand up for him.
I'm not trying to stand up for him. I'm not trying to stand up for him. I'm just saying, was he wrongfully accused? I mean, hey, Brett's telling me that there wasn't enough evidence to convict. All I'm saying is that the glove don't fit. You must have quit.
Well, the thing about it is that's the only. Well, I think there wasn't enough evidence to convict. I think this couldn't get it all together or something like that, or.
So they just decided to go.
So are you over there saying that there should be a recall for Freddy Krueger?
No.
That ship has sailed because they burned him in his bed. And then Brett's like, "Oh, I can't believe he's mad. He got burned in his bed, bro." So,
yeah, but
and I'm not defending him. I mean, if he did the stuff that we're saying, that they're saying he did, he deserved it. But.
Here at Boyce and Boyce Law Firm, we represent anyone.
That's messed up. I'm just saying, it's not jumping conclusions. Everybody deserves a fair trial. I mean,
I know, but still, I mean, it's kind of like, well, that's what he was mad that they were mad at him, and now he was attacking children in their dreams, and these were like, they had to make them teenagers because they're like, yeah, we make them a little too young. It's kind of off kilter a little bit. But let's throw old Patricia Arquette back in that thing.
But then on that end, if he was a pedophile, so then why is he going after teenagers now?
That's,
a young
now,
adult.
see, you're starting to poke some holes in the story there. He's going after teenagers. Maybe he wasn't doing all that stuff. Maybe I'm right. Maybe maybe
Actually,
this guy needs a
at
little
that
love.
point, though, if they're still in high school, they are still.
I mean, that's
underage.
technically still being
Yeah.
pedophile. That's true.
They're technically children.
See, you're already still.
You think Freddie? I think that's what Freddie likes about high school girls.
Yeah.
Is he keeps getting older, but they stay.
He's the
same
Matthew
age, just
McConaughey
like
of horror villains.
He's like, all right. If you all right in your dreams, you all right for real.
Get away, creepy McConaughey.
I'd love to see a Freddy Krueger McConaughey. That'd be amazing.
It's just Freddy Krueger driving around in a Lincoln. I love my Lincoln. Kind of like how I like butchering up kids.
I got this Lincoln Continental in my dreams.
Rolling through your mind like a sweet wine.
Those are some of the dumbest commercials. I don't know what the hell they're going for on those things.
I don't know either, dude.
Well, guys,
it's unbelievable.
I guess we plan on doing a lot more. This is gonna not just be the main part of our podcast. The podcast is always gonna be the podcast, but we're planning on pretty much using this for all of our outlets. We're gonna be doing recording some skits, and we're gonna be doing obviously commercials for things that you gotta
Little
get
bit
started
of
anywhere.
ads,
Yeah.
We'll have a couple ads in there, try to make everything flow well and not kill the
We gotta pay the
buzz.
bills somehow.
But
with
you gotta
it,
pay the
so,
bills, yes.
Yeah, we're broke niggas.
I was happy to get a
True
cheap and shameless plug-in for Boyceco. That's BOYCECO on Facebook. You can find Boyceco, brand new items at used prices. That's Matt Boyce of Boyceco.
Buy my shit.
Come try out this brand new pre-owned
Brand
Hyundai Sonata.
A brand new pre-owned Hyundai Sonata. Uh-oh, we're having some technical difficulties again, but hey guys, it's been fun. Obviously, it's our first one. We've had a few technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Maybe we had a little bit of trouble getting off the ground, but I think we all landed safely.
Oh, absolutely.
And for anybody who's listened to this, we certainly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. And, we'll see you next time, I guess. If you guys have anything else that you want to add, or you want to tell everybody goodbye, or...
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say that we'll be putting out episodes twice a month. Starting, this will be our inaugural episode's Halloween, and after that, we're going to start doing two a month. And if we can make that go further, maybe make more, we just got to get a buzz going on this. So when you see this, if you could just like and share on Facebook, kind of get us out there. We're going to be on YouTube when we upload this, so I'd really like for everybody to kind of share it around and kind of help promote us, because the more ears we
Like,
get.
comment, and subscribe.
That's right. Well, it's been a
very
good one,
original.
guys. Mark, Matt.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys, and I'm looking forward to doing more of these. It's going to be a good journey.
Definitely.
And Family Bathroom lives. Tough TV may have turned us down at the end. Wanted us to pay for half of the the financing for the pilot, but we're going to be back and back even stronger. And who knows what the future holds with Family Bathroom. So everybody stay tuned. Future. All right, guys.
Oh yeah, right before we go, I just want to say thanks, guys, for watching our podcast.
Oh, and Mark, keep watching Touched by an Angel.
Son of a bitch.
See you later, guys.
Later, guys.